Ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Graham Morrison. Follow me on Twitter at GrahamCasts. Shameless plug. Joined by @Peronius. Follow him there at, well, Peronius. It's funny how that works. That's awfully convenient. Here with Pinky MacGyver on production for a second match of Ascent. This is what I like to call the bonus game. You didn't think you were getting it. I didn't think I was casting it. But, well, sometimes the cookie just crumbles flawlessly, Peronius, as we're here for MAWF Black versus OmegaLUL.
Absolutely, and this is definitely going to be an exciting game as I'm coming into this one blind. I like to do a bit of scouting beforehand just to check out the teams, see which one feels like a favorite. But pretty much all 12 players, with I think one or two exceptions, have their profiles private, which I think is also against tournament rules. So I think we can rulebook both teams and declare ourselves the winners here. But moving on from that, I have no idea which of these teams has the edge coming into this round. So I will have to discover at the same time as all of you as we see this unfold. We are going to be starting once again on Lijiang Tower, and this time we'll be starting out in the night market as these teams make their way in from the spawns, and we will be seeing mirrored Zen goats from both teams.
I mean, you say declare us the winners, and I get to cast with you, and I declare that a win in my books. And now we'll see if either of these teams can pick a win in their books, as we are brawling out on this point, trying to get up in their faces. There's going to be a little bit more control at the point going to OmegaLUL, and they've actually found the opening kill and the DMAC to boot. That's a swell start to the game, as they have just shredded MAWF Black, who are backing away, terrified.
Yeah, now OmegaLUL coming off from not too long ago, finishing out their run in the Open Division, so they've obviously been keeping up their practice regime, and it's really showing here as they take a dominant first fight. And they're now going to be going into the second fight. They do have the Diva Bomb available. They've got an Earth Shatter very soon. That could be all they need here to snowball this one. That said, we are going to have ultimates coming online from Kahlua very shortly as well. There's the rally as they look to start this fight.
Yeah, they're getting right up in their faces, right around. Bomb is going to come down. And that's Kira down too. Kahlua and Alex all falling. This is surely looking like a round for OmegaLUL. They are just doing everything they can to stonewall. There's not much of a window, and that's a very late stagger onto random thing.
Yeah, really nice play there from Yui as well. Kahlua tried to bring down the hammer, and he got a shield to the face for his trouble. And then just continued to be pressured out and actually dies to the Diva Bomb due to just being torn apart from so many different sides. And we're going to potentially see another dominant defense here, but there are some tools in the belt of MAWF Black to try and bring this one back.
Well, Alex is going to be able to find that kill on the Bloodborne. Absolute beauty has fallen, and the Raven's down too, so this might finally be a window here as Kahlua is going to get another kill. Yui off the field. And yeah, I think they have, in fact, gotten this. This Flank Ocean, by the way, might be the best name in this server.
Wow, that is a nice name. But yeah, Tatsui...
Or Battlefield.
Or Battlefield. Yeah, there's some good ones. Battlefield, I like Battlefield. But Tatsui not quite able to get the sound barrier down in time means that, unfortunately, it is basically wasted in that fight. They are going to have the grab online for the next fight, but so does I Forgot My Name. It's really going to be down to which one commits first, and there they are at the same time.
Ooh, random thing. That bomb finds 2 and a DMAC. Flank Ocean going to be running away. This is a lovely response coming through from MAWF Black Academy. And a big response. And just as we have a little bit of downtime and I get to muse on random things. Like, the MAWF Black Academy, why wouldn't you call them, like, MAWF Gray? MAWF Brown?
MAWF Brown? Why black? I don't know. Maybe...
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you have your Academy team just be a different color?
Don't know.
Well, we have the Deep Bomb coming through.
Placement. Battlefield gets picked out there, and...
Well, they're going to be able to find a few more. Raven has that kill on the random thing. Will they find anything else? The lace coming through. Shatter is going to be very nice there. As Kahlua is gone. Kira off the map too. And this is surely going to be a recap coming through. Great job of equalizing. And the delays coming through. There's a little bit of pressure coming through this point. They're doing a great job spurring time. Just trying to stay alive any longer so they can get this point to flip. And they will actually grab the advantage. But now it should be capped right back up. Actually, Kahlua has now jumped on this point. These delays are so well done. They've already up to 87% for MAWF Black. That's a great run back.
Yeah, it's a lot of time there. Bought off the clock. It is down to basically the last fight. Whoever wins this one, going to be very much in the driver's seat. You have to say that there's an advantage there on the part of OmegaLUL due to that grab. Grab gets thrown out. It's an early kill onto Kira Kahlua as well, but Bloodborne has gone down.
And there is pressure on this point, but they're being shredded right now. 2 players left alive. Trying to stall. Actually, it's 3. I can't count because numbers are hard. But they're being annihilated. OmegaLUL are going to be able to take the first segment of this map. Here's the thing, Peronius. First segment doesn't actually mean a whole hell of a lot in the long run. If you look at the series we just did,
absolutely. First
segment went to one team, and then the other team won everything else for the rest of that series.
Well, it's a chance to set the pace of the game, set the momentum, set the morale. You can absolutely see it be a very decisive factor as it can get into people's heads. At the same time, you can see it get into people's heads as they realize they need to knuckle down and do better, and then they go and do better and provide a dominant 3-0 performance thereafter. So definitely very hit and miss with how things go there. But we are going to be seeing random thing over on the May here, which may be a bit of a nasty surprise as we make our way over to Control Center. And Wall not getting a lot of value on that opening one, unfortunately.
No, not really, as Bryson has actually found the kill on to Battlefield to boot. This is all going OmegaLUL's way. Flank Ocean now has a kill onto the Rhine as well. Will they find anything else? Of course they will. They are just annihilating. The kill feed is all blue. And, well, Flank Ocean with a big set of 3, make that a 4K for him.
Yeah, and so OmegaLUL actually running the Moira Goats here rather than the Zen Goats, which in theory is going to be putting them at a slight disadvantage, but Bloodborne's already got that Coalescence basically online here. They're going to be looking to set up an early hold here on this point. We'll see how it goes as this fight unfolds.
Yeah, it's very far forward, but the Coalescence is going to be popped off here, trying to do a lot of damage with it. Can they find anything? Now the Brigade is going to come out, and that is a huge bubble shadow, as you said. Forgot My Name has found a pair. Kalua's got a pair as well, and all of a sudden it is all Crimson in the kill feed. And a full collapse comes through. Team kill, the bell sounds, Peronius. That was super clean.
Yeah, very clean. The downside to it being so clean is there are still a lot of ultimates available for OmegaLUL. They've got the Shatter online for this next fight. They're going to push in with the Rally, have everything they need to make this a quick comeback, but there comes, I forgot the name, with the grab.
Grab is good. Diva Bomb doesn't connect, and that's done a solid job delaying. Lucio does drop his beat. Now we have Diva Bombs going the other way with the Shatter coming around. Again, nothing found. A lot of ultis being used, but no avail. This Graviton may be the difference maker in the fight. In fact, it's still so even. 4-on-4 right now. Respawns will be advantage to the offense. That is OmegaLUL trying to come back in, trying to steal this point away. And now that they found some kills, they might be able to collapse through. Still though, 3 with the Brig might be able to just do enough to delay, allow more spawns to come in, and in fact it does. Got my name now has you. They're finding some more kills, and then like through all of this, Peronius, it looked like OmegaLUL might wrench control away, but instead it's being held onto by MAWF Black.
Absolutely, and everything we said about the last fight being clean is the exact opposite in that one. That was a long, messy fight with a lot of resources being thrown in from both sides, and in the end, MAWF Black just sitting there in the driver's seat, having managed to weather the storm, and we're heading into final fight territory.
Big Transcendence coming down on this point to try and negate the Coalescence, and a Graviton is going to be very big. Can they condense upon this nicely? They've done a great job, and everything falls. Kahlua with the 3K. Yui manages to find one, but we have the response coming in that we needed to.
This is going to be rough here. They're going to really be struggling to get a touch on this point. They're going to have to trickle in, and that's a very dangerous position. Bloodborne going to get the touch here, so they do get the overtime, but he's going to die before the rest of the team makes it in.
They have had a few ults on this point, and another massive shatter. This time it's from Raven doing so. They're not able to convert off of it. The Evil Bomb actually finds Kira. That's huge. Kahlua is going to be condensed on, and we might have a little bit of life coming in from OmegaLUL. They need to find a few more kills here. Bryson does have one. I think surely at this point they will be able to recap it out and delay a little bit longer. Their margin for error, though, is so very slim.
Yeah, absolutely. And the overtime respawn's actually helping out with that one as that fight drags on a little bit, but the delay on the spawn timer prevents any more reinforcements being able to come back in, reinforce that for MAWF Black, but at the same time, they got a long way to hold it, and they've got very little in the bank here to get it going. Neither team really having a lot of ultimates. It's just going to come down to the team-on-team brawl, and whoever can get the early advantage could be taking this one all the way.
They're starting to engage, starting to pressure around. There are a couple of ults here for MAWF Black. They have popped the Transcendence out. Uses more of an engagement ult, which I'm not entirely sure was the right move, considering they haven't found a kill off of it yet. And that could work to their detriment. Graviton comes out here as well, as is a Diva Bomb going up, and that has turned the kill feed crimson. A DMAT comes through. They found everybody. They should get the cap, and that will be all she writes. Oh, a little bit early on that call. Had to find a Lucio. It took a little while, but here we go. Overtime up, and no one can get there. That is all she wrote. Erroneous.
Absolutely, and just as you said before, the first round doesn't necessarily mean much. In this case, it didn't really help them out in Control Center. We will be going over to the ever-favorite Gardens, and this is our chance to see what these teams look like, potentially, when they don't run goats. Assuming that they don't run goats here, because there are a bit more options on this map, but at the same time, maybe we will just keep seeing Zen goats into Zen goats. So look forward to that one, all you resident sleepers out there. And that does indeed look like we're not going to be seeing any flexes from these teams. So it's just going to come down to how well these teams coordinate together, and whether or not they can efficiently use their ultimates to get quick, decisive wins. Because being able to win those team fights quickly and cleanly definitely matters a lot more. And we're going to have an early brawl here in the White Room as the teams run straight into each other.
An early positional advantage going the way of MAWF Black, and that's converted into the DMAC on Flank Ocean. Might be able to find a few other picks here, potentially. Lucio is alone and away from his team, but I think he's just going to fall away as OmegaLUL will elect to have a re-aggression come in with their full squad. Here they are coming straight through, Peronius.
Absolutely, and we're going to see Raven go down really early in that fight. That's a big shatter off the back of that one. Doesn't actually catch anyone, so perhaps not quite as big as originally believed, but they are still going to be able to clean up this fight as MAWF Black just run through the members of OmegaLUL. But look at this, Taxui on the point. He's going to get the cheeky flip here. He's going to do it. And no, they do manage to just barely make it onto that point. Kahlua getting boosted back by Basfield, and they just barely prevent that cheeky flip coming through. Very nice play from Daxby. So as we look in to set up this next fight, Yui is going to have the rally there to push in, but I forgot my name very close to the grab. That could be an answer there. Bryson's got his own grab, so it really is whoever initiates first, there's the grab coming out.
Now this pressure's coming around, and there's a lovely set Raven with the D-Mech kill. Yui chiming in as well. Surely MAWF have to fall back. Might delay a little bit to try and stall this point out. Buy them as much cap as they can. They're already up to 60%. And now they fall to flip at about 63% when all is said and done. Apologies there. We are just working with a little bit of tech difficulties. I think I accidentally bumped my mic, which is why I'm, I think, quite a bit louder than everything else right now. We'll see if we can get that fixed up. Maybe have the game volume boosted a touch, and both our mics dropped a little bit to compensate for it.
You're still sounding fine on my end, but I could be a bit incorrect. Looks like they are going to commit the sound barrier and push in. Going to go for an early fight here. Let's see how this one unfolds.
Pressure in and around this point, and the grab gets eaten by Flank Ocean. That is massive. That will completely swing the tides of this fight. The Diva Bomb still going to come out, and it will find Axui. Yui down as well to that bomb, so that is being very big from Random Thing. And the kill is still going the way of MAWF Black. They're going to be able to regain control of this point as they have very thorough cleanup.
Absolutely. The interesting part about that Diva Bomb is it didn't actually kill Yui outright. However, because the blast displaced Yui, actually knocked Yui into the environment to get the kill that way. So, not something that happens often, but if you're in the sort of outer range of those bombs, rather than killing you, it will do a bunch of damage and knock, and that can set up those Enviro kills. So that's probably going to be play of the game just by virtue of the strength of Enviro. Shadow coming out like Lua. There's the grab to counter it.
It's a grab festival there. Alex has been the only casualty. This is a window as Yui's come through. Taxui's actually gotten a kill as well. This is going very nicely for OmegaLUL. We're going to see the suicides come in. The stall, they've got to that 99%. And now they have about 40% to work with to try and push back in. Try and find the kills that they need. And try and steal map 1.
Absolutely, but not an enviable position to be in when you look at the old academy. I forgot my name and Random Thing, very close to that bigger bang combo of the Grav Diva Bomb. Kalua getting very close to the next shatter as well, whereas Raven quite a way off from that one. They've got a lot of tools coming online. Bloodburn's just got his Transcendence up. That's going to be crucial to deal with this incoming push. But beyond that, they don't have a lot of big, impactful tools because Flank Ocean's Diva Bomb alone is not likely to be able to do enough to swing a team fight without something to combo with. Here comes the offense. They've overlapped the sound barrier with the rally. They want to end this here.
Oh, but that's a very big Diva Bomb right in the back. He killed the pop, but Random Thing still finds 2 with it. Graviton's gonna come in. Everyone's starting to fall. There is just a Diva. The cleanup so thorough. MAWF Black moving as an absolute unit, and they found the kills. They have the flip. I don't think anyone's here to try and delay it. We are gonna go through, and map 1 goes to MAWF Black Academy.
Yeah, just very nicely played there. They knew their win conditions in that final fight, and they absolutely used it to their full effect there. And that's going to see them take over Nepal. And by Nepal, I mean Lijiang Tower. But, that said, a very close game between these teams. They do seem reasonably evenly matched. A lot of these fights have been on the knife's edge, with a lot of the games going all the way to the 99-99 or very near to. It looks like we are in for an exciting series here, Graham.
Yeah, this is even though we are like we were dealing with on that last segment, like the Tom Brady comp goats. That's a reference that's probably gonna go over the heads of like 90% of Australians out there,
right?
Yeah, NFL quarterback, probably the greatest of all time. Just won another Super Bowl, his 6th ring. He has more rings than he has fingers on one hand. He's a legend. But even though we're dealing with like the goats comp, that was still an incredible match just for map 1. Think about it. 1 out of 5. We could have 4 more maps of this absolute rampage of a brawl we've had This is so close, so back and forth, an absolute fight. And I mean, even though we had MAWF Black take map 1, I'm not really sure you can even read much off of that and say, like, yeah, like they got Dorado too off of it. I think just kind of from what I saw, Peronius, is that if you had one thing that might sway it in MAWF Black's favor, is I felt that their pushes as a complete unit were a little bit tighter and they had a little bit faster kills. If you notice that a lot of the fights on OmegaLUL 1, there was a lot more stall out by MAWF Black. They had a lot harder time killing a couple of the straggling play, which delayed it. Makes more of a difference on control, though. Not so much here on the cart.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the ability to get those clean and decisive kills, even more important on the likes of Escort, on the likes of Assault, on your hybrid payloads. The long, drawn-out, brawly fights, they're not something you see a lot on these other game modes. So that's definitely going to be playing into the strengths of MAWF Black here. And yeah, their ability to just get those clean fight wins, definitely going to be a big difference maker. That said, OmegaLUL, despite the fact that they haven't been winning the fights as cleanly, they've definitely been punching up to be able to bring it as close as they have. So at the same time, it's really hard to predict where this one will go. Just like it's hard to predict what we're going to see from these teams as we move into Dorado. So I think we can anticipate, at least on point A, probably a lot more goats on goats action that has been vogue for a while. But at the same time, when we move over to second, there's a lot more high ground, and it's a lot more likely we see some transitions. There's a lot of tools that are yet to be fully utilized by a lot of teams due to the meta shifts that can really wreak havoc on these sort of compositions. So it's going to be interesting to see if we do see any adaptations out of these teams, because there's a couple of heroes that if you can just get them safe on the high ground and just rain down damage, it is very difficult for goats to deal with. Things like the Ash on the high ground on second, especially with those big the dynamite, and the damage over time that can inflict, you can build Bob up very quickly against goats, and it's going to be very hard for them to get to her on the high ground to stop her from just free-firing down. So it's going to be interesting if we do see Ash come out from either of these teams, as she has proven to be very strong, just from what we saw at the Open Div finals over the last weekend. And we're just waiting for all the players to be back and ready so that we can head back into Dorado here.
Yeah. Well, what was it like being a caster that actually got to see the Open Div finals?
Oh, it was a lot of quick games, and then sitting around with a countdown timer on the front page of Twitch for a while. So it's
that's a classic.
It was. It was just a bit unfortunate that some of the games were over so quickly, and the big, highly publicized stream is basically just a giant countdown timer. But such are the things that happen sometimes.
Hey, I was
the big
thrilled.
3-0 blowouts.
I was thrilled. My boy Razorfish, good friend of mine, on Paradigm, made it to Contenders Trial. So congratulations to him, and a large shout out to the lovely gentleman. Some of my boys on Devious couldn't follow through and do the same. But enough about Open Div. Enough about that little foray out there. We're here for Ascent. I, of course, am Graham Morrison. Follow me on Twitter at GrahamCast. I don't get paid. I have a small ego, and anytime you follow me, it helps stroke it and helps make me feel a little bit better about myself. And I'm sure you're the same way, Peronius, so you better follow him at Peronius. You can see how it is on stream. It is actually spelt the right way this time. Let's put a little @ sign in front of that on Twitter, and he's got some pretty solid tweets. Of course, follow us here at AOE, both on this channel and on Twitter. That's where you're going to get notifications when we're live, when there's more of me and Peronius, because who doesn't want that? And, of course, follow Pinky MacGyver. I don't know what Pinky's Twitter is. She hasn't told me. But she's our producer, so follow her.
Absolutely.
At Pinky MacGyver. That's almost convenient, as we are now live, Peronius.
Absolutely, and we are actually going to be seeing Yui and Bryson over on that double poke comp of the Widowmaker and Farah. And they've rightly predicted they're going to be seeing goats on the offense, and they're really looking to take angles and poke this down. Random things got their work cut out for they're trying to deny these angles. It's a big ante onto the members there as well, but unfortunately, Farah too pressured out to properly capitalize on that. Bryson going down means that this is really the go signal for the offense, and they're coming in hard now.
They are coming hard and fast. Just driving this car right through the hole, right down the lane, right into this first point.
And yeah, that's as simple as that. It's such is the snowball of goats, and we are, by the looks of it, going to be seeing some adaptations from the defense. It looks like they're going to be moving over to try and mirror this. Bryson still staying on the Widowmaker, so they are going to be doing it without a Diva. But beyond that, they are going to be matching the brawl in the streets for this streets phase of Dorado. And let's see if Bryson able to click some heads to open up a fight here, because obviously there's a lot of weight on those shoulders to stay on the Widowmaker playing into this goats.
Some days you just see a Brigida boop something and you're like, dear lord, what is the range on that? Bryson got launched back, and I swear that was not range for that. Because Brigida range is insane, and the Brigida has engaged in here, trying to use that range to his advantage. But it's going to be, I forgot my name, and Kira finding kills, and well, everything is falling. There is just the lonely Bryce on that Widow trying to fall away. He'll be able to. But the goats keep rolling.
Absolutely.
Impernious.
So go ahead.
I figured it out. You know why it's called Goats Comp?
Because it's named after a Contenders Trials team of the same name?
No. I mean, yes. But what sound does a goat make?
Ba.
Ba. And what do I say when I see goats? Ba humbug. And that was a lovely shatter, results in a 3K. MAWF Black can't be stopped. They're rolling through. This is almost getting a little hard to watch. This is absolutely beautiful from them. They're playing as a clean, cohesive unit. And there really isn't much that OmegaLUL can do to stop it.
Absolutely. I mean, OmegaLUL do have some ultimates online. They've got the Shatter, they've got the Grav. They do have to worry about Random Thing eating that Grav. But here comes the Shatter in first. That's going to get the Transcendence out. This is the defense's chance. They need to spin this one around here.
Oh, all these ults being used as a cornucopia, but it's resulted in Yui finding a pair. Can he find any more? Can his team do so? In fact, Yui will fall, but the kill is still going the way of Omega. The defense has held for a little bit. Will it be enough? Gone for not quite goats. They've gone for the Goanna.
Oh yeah, so
like Moana, and that was a good movie. I forget, was it? Who were? I think it was you. No, it was Tugboat. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't actually gotten around to. I haven't gotten around to seeing Moana yet, so it's probably not me. But something I do keep intending to do, but I'm really bad at finding the time to do things that aren't my regular casts or streams, or of course my classes. So there you go. But regardless of that, the defense winning a key fight there. The important thing is they also got a lot of ultimates out of MAWF Black in that fight as well, which is going to give them the ability to double down and maybe hold here for a while. That said, still a couple of scary ultimates. We are going to have Diva Bombs over the top here.
Are they able to find anything off of it? It's actually going to be MAWF Black having the man advantage at this point in time. And they are moving forward, like I said, as that cohesive unit at almost a death ball rolling forward. Quite a few kills, but a little bit of a boot from their Brig has forced a few of these players down, made them fall back. They are still converting kills though, Peronius, and more importantly, the cart is still rolling its way forward. Or I guess floating.
Absolutely. It looks like they are backing off here though. They do have to worry about this respawn advantage from the defenders, so they're wisely backing up, waiting for all 6 members of the team before they aggress forwards again. Defenders have a lot of ultimates online to try and stuff this one out, but the attackers also coming up very close. It's going to really be, once again, down to which team initiates first and best with the ultimates. Double grab yet again.
Oh my lord, the kill is still going MAWF Black's way, but there's a big ante on the Kahlua. It can't be converted though, he's living somehow, and in fact everything else is being converted. Will surely momentarily be a team kill, and well, Bryson will live, so it won't actually come through, but this cart has now gotten to the finish line, almost. Coming down, getting pushed there, 0.19 of a meter. That is so incredibly short. It's now at 0.0. There's literally no distance for it to go. It's on the line. It will finally cross it. MAWF Black capping it out, but it was almost a beautiful stall.
Yeah, it's really...
I've never seen that. I've never seen it get stalled at zero.
That's new for me as well. Really rough there on Yui, coming out on the Pharah to try and take apart this composition, and then finding out that there's no one else alive to stall the payload, and having to stay in range of the payload as Pharah. Just not what you want when you've got just an angry Goats team there ready to tear you apart, and sure enough, not able to get any time stalled on that one. So we are going to see MAWF Black pushing through 2 minutes 27 on the clock. Very respectable time for Dorado. And yeah, this is going to be very hard for OmegaLUL to try and match, let alone beat. They really need to try and get their own momentum going big on this one.
And what are their comps going to be? I see a Hammond. I don't think that's going to be the case.
It could be. We've seen a lot of Hammond quad DPS and Hammond Mercy. Definitely two of the key pieces of this, especially with the Widow. This could be very interesting if they go with it.
I just don't like the Widow into Goats. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's not enough damage out there to convert the kills that they need.
Oh,
I don't know.
You missed some of the key games where some of the best Australian and New Zealand teams showing how this comp works. This can be very dynamic and very exciting. It's all about taking the off angles and having 3 or 4 different DPS threats poking from different places. Goats can really struggle to deal something with it, but it's absolutely crucial that Taxui gets some big plays with the Wrecking Ball as well, because it's all about the disruption on that Wrecking Ball to create space for the DPS. With Bryson and Bloodborne going down there early, I don't think they're going to do it for us today.
Great play by Random Thing, just immediately finding the Widow, hopping on it, collapsing and shredding him to death. And there's a little bit of a demech and a kill from Flank Ocean and Yui. But again, it's not quite enough. Pharmacy might be able to do a lot here, though. Maywall's actually going to wall in Kahlua. Should fall, will be frozen. Somehow is still alive. Out of all of that, is going to be booped away perpetually. However, the kills are, in fact, you're right, going the way of OmegaLUL, shredding this Goats comp.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just really hard to deal with so many different DPS pushing in. I don't know about the Mei pick on it, because it's not normally what's run there, and she's not quite the right sort. You want either long-range heroes that can poke apart from a distance, or highly mobile ones like Tracer that can get in and get out. So the Mei can struggle against Goats because she has a very easy target for them to collapse on, unlike the others. But those Mei walls are definitely doing work at the same time. There's the barrage over the top. Kalua's going to get taken out, and the kills are still coming through in favor of OmegaLUL here.
Yes. Sometimes you can just drop the Bobs, and the Bob found a 2K. It's almost like having the extra man. Helps out sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, Bob can be absolutely devastating, especially on these escort payloads where he can just sit on the payload and just put out damage. People need to contest. Actually going very deep here. The punishment almost getting through. They are going to just barely roll away by the looks of it, but very close to getting picked off there. That would have been an absolute disaster, but I forgot my name taken down by Bryson. Here comes the dive from Kahlua.
And you can see that the Goats not going to be the option that they're running against. They have swapped off of it. They brought players around. There's still quite a bit of ults for this defense to try and make it work. But again, they're falling very quickly. Evil Bomb doesn't actually connect on anything, and this is looking very good for OmegaLUL. And it feels like MAWF Black don't really have an answer for it.
It's a very hard composition to play into because you just end up chasing shadows. A lot of these DPS characters have a lot of ability to get away from dives. And so that's what they do. Anytime you commit onto one of them, they're just going to look to peel away, try and escape, and then you've got all these other players taking different angles, taking apart your vulnerable members. So it's a very difficult composition to play into because of that.
In this fight, Bryson again has the kill, and I forgot my name. It's just a consistent thing. That's their answer to the Widow, and it's just not quite working. And now Yui with the barrage coming in. What a potent projectile player has found the kills. The cap has come down. Well, Now it has, and they are through, pushing around the corner. The door should open soon, and they're trying to condense these players all the way back into spawn.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see the swap over to the GOATS composition once again. Now, in I Forgot My Name's defense, they may even be the better Widow, because it's so hard to play Widow into this quad DPS. You have to worry about the enemy Widow, but you also have to worry about the Ashe and the Pharah, because all of them will take you out first, and they will take 3 very different angles to do it. So it is very difficult to play into this. That's a big minefield right in the middle of. They're really trying to drive this one in right now.
We have Ashe popping Cube, and Bob's your uncle. Alex is down. Will they find anything else? A Great Wall is going to try and deny this. Kalu is caught out. The shield, though, is surviving, so the players come around. But Yui with the barrage has shredded, and we have the cap through 344. That was lightning fast. That was actually terrifying.
Yeah, like they lost one fight at the very beginning, and even on the tail end of that, got some key trades back, and then the payload started moving, and it never stopped moving. So they just took it all the way through Dorado, and we are in for a series here, as once again, MAWF Black Academy now looking to get as far as they can on this offense. But at the same time, if we see that quad DPS coming out from OmegaLUL on the defense, we've already shown that MAWF Black Academy, they don't really know how to respond to that one. So, yeah, and it does look like they will be running that on the defense. They found the Kryptonite. Why not use it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like one of the things that I didn't really see MAWF Black try that might have been worth trying would be kind of go for like a modified Goats with McCree. That way you do get the double stun. Might be able to kind of pick apart some of the DPS that way. But really, we'll see if they can come up with any answer for it, as they are going to be switching over to offense this time.
Yeah, I mean, the most consistent answer we've seen to it so far has been a very traditional dive. The old school sort of Tracer Genji dive seems to have been the most reliable way to deal with it, but even then, it's not an easy thing, because you need to pick the right target to dive, and all of them are just going to look to back away as you commit to it as well. So it's not an easy comp to fight against. It is, of course, not an easy comp to play, and we get some very dynamic matches when we do see these DPS-heavy lineups.
I love it. I think that's like the best part of this game is when we finally do have dynamic comps coming in. Goats took us away from that, and now we have the chess matches coming out, and I Forgot My Name has an opener on the Bryson, which is something that I feel like I haven't had the opportunity to say enough on this map, so it's a great start for him. Can they convert it to another kill? The Wrecking Ball is up, going to be pressured quite heavily, trying to fall away. The Genji's up in his face. Alex is actually in a little bit of trouble from this May. It's being forced into its bubble. It's trying to be shredded, but Yui has a kill. Tatsui is going to be rezzed as this defense is finding kills. Yui is just reigning supreme and running the skies in utter control.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's like you do have to give a lot of credit to Tatsui. He's not just going in and feeding. The disruption he gets with those pile drivers is huge, and being able to knock everyone up into the air like that means that they're very predictable, easy targets for both his Ashe, his Widow, and his Pharah to rain damage on. So it's a very important part of how this comp plays, but it is also very important to quickly get out of there, because you can get punished, and we did see that. Raven able to get the res off while everyone is distracted by the May wall. So very nicely played by this defense so far. We've got 45 seconds left on the clock. Bloodboard going down early is a bit of a worry.
Yeah, and now Yui is down too. That leaves the skies open as Random Thing doing a lot of work. Bryson hits a nice shot there, and actually Flank Ocean finding the kill as well. It's a little bit more rough, but they should still be able to pull it off. Bob is out, and the minefield down too. Could be the end of this as Bob shreds down the Mercy.
And that's the other big problem with this DPS heavy comp, is that even if you take down one, even if you take down two, there's still a lot of high damage threats. Alex Studio is now pulling out the blade, trying to go to town, actually gets Bryson before getting taken down by the Venom Mine, and that res on the Tatsui could mean the end of this offense here, and especially with that Blizzard coming out.
Yeah, someone needs to get on it. Nobody can. No one's around, and it is going to be a whole MAWF don't even get the first point. This comp has completely stifled them. They don't have an answer here, Peronius.
It's, as I've said, this is a hard one to crack, and it's not something that a lot of people have had practice playing against. You know, it's a relatively new composition. It got pulled out, I believe, in Contender's career. I could be wrong on that one. And it managed to almost full hold Route 66. A lot of people took note. A lot of teams trying to replicate this. It's still a very fragile comp. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, but at the same time, it can be very hard to engage on if you've got the players with the high mechanical skill able to pull off all of these high mechanical skill heroes. But it requires some really, really skilled players. It requires a lot more raw mechanics than we've seen in team compositions for a while. You know, you need a Zen player who's really good at clicking heads, who can flex over to a DPS role. You need an off-tank who's, again, really good at tracking usually. A lot of the time you see the D.Va players going over to the likes of the Tracer, because similar skill set. But you need those players able to play these high mechanics heroes to a good degree to be able to pull off this comp. So it's not something every team can do. As a result, there's going to be a lot of teams haven't run into it in scrims, haven't run into it matches before now, and they just haven't had the practice against it to work out how to beat it. And that's definitely what we've seen here, with Morph Black just struggling to find an answer. Early kill onto the Orisa means this is looking potentially like they've got an answer here now, though, as they look like they're going to mirror it here.
Mirror it with a little bit of a twist, which the twist is seeming to work out. I forgot my name is absolutely on fire early on. And that has actually forced some response changes. We see Taxui's going back to the Hammond after being on Orisa. And that's being shredded down too, so MAWF may have that answer. It's not going to be easy for them. They can't let the cart go very far, but they are finding all the kills pretty much off the bat. Taxui trouble again off the res. This is looking very nice for them now, as I have a voice cracked like I'm 12.
The Sombra's a nice touch for this if you're expecting the quad DPS out of your attackers as well. Because if you can get that hack onto the enemy Wrecking Ball, that means when he goes in, he pile drivers, and then he can't escape, and he just becomes a big feed. So Sombra, very nice adaptation here to try and shut down this quad DPS comp, and so far things are working out for them. As I say that, I forgot my name, does get taken down by Yui, but the trade back from Random Thing is there.
Bryson as well, taking a fight one-on-one with the Wrecking Ball, finds that kill. In fact, all the kills are starting to go the way of the offense. Surely that means that they're going to be able to cap through. There's no one here that can really delay. And I think this might be all that she wrote. We may have just enough time for one last Hail Mary delay. But Bryson, again, hitting a nice shot to shut them down. No one can get there. No one's even close. They're being stonewalled. Yikes.
Yikes. Some really great heads-up plays there. We see Flank Ocean pushing up, holding the doorway, not letting that Wrecking Ball roll on through to get some stall on the payload. And that wins them the game without a proper recontest. So really nice plays there. Great adaptations we've seen from OmegaLUL. They're really flexing their DPS muscles and showing what DPS players can do when you don't make them play tanks. So here we are. We have a bit of a series on our hands as we go into this one. I believe it's 1-1 now.
It is, in fact, 1-1. And one of the things I'm a little sad that we didn't actually see coming out was, like I said, I would have liked to see them kind of try like the McCree goats. You get the double stun for the ball. You can zone out Farah. You know, once May drops and uses Ice Block, speed onto her. Like, your only real issue there is the Widow, but you can kind of just line of sight her at that point and play behind Shield. I feel like it would actually be a fairly solid counter to it. I'm not a player, so I might be wrong, but you know, I would have liked to see them at least kind of try it. I feel like it could have worked, especially with how well their goats was playing before the multi DPS took them apart. I think like the slight McCree swap would have just been the right answer.
Maybe. I mean, McCree, he's going to be a big target. Anytime you bring out a McCree, he's going to become a big target. And it means the tanks are really going to have to play Mr. President with him and keep him super safe, because that Widow is going to be looking to click his head off. The Farah is going to be trying to pressure him. He's not a particularly high mobility hero, which means he is a big target. So it's hard to say how that one's going to go. It um looks like the teams are requesting a pause, but maybe they're just trolling each other. I'm not sure if that's a legitimate request or just OCE players being OCE players. So
He did say wrong button, so I'm pretty sure that that's a bind.
yeah, I who knows with these
Maybe
guys.
not though.
Yeah, I think until the situation makes itself clear, we might take a quick break here, because it looks like the players do need a bit of a break themselves before we head into the next map, which looks like it will be Hanamura.
And before we do go to break, just gonna give that shameless plug one more time. Follow our producer Pinky MacGyver on Twitter at Pinky MacGyver. Follow Peronius, the absolute legend, on Twitter at Peronius. Follow me, Graham Morrison, on Twitter. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. Pinky MacGyver's at Pinky MacGyver. Peronius is at Peronius. I'm not at Graham Morrison. I could be. That would actually be pretty good. But I'm actually at Graham Casts. Follow me there. We would all appreciate the support. We're not paid. The only way we are paid is your adoration. And it's that much more evident when you tweet at us and follow us on Twitter. So we'd appreciate it. We will be taking a quick break, going to music. We'll be right back on the other side with the rest of the series. And we're back. I'm Graham Morrison again, as always. Par for the course. I'm sorry if you're expecting someone else. You're greatly let down. But why would you expect someone else? Because I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, and the absolute beauty, Peronius. We're back. We're here. We're on Hanamura. Again, it's OmegaLUL, MAWF Black, tied at 1. This is the third map of this best of 5.
Absolutely, it's going to be interesting to see if we continue to see this sort of quad DPS lineup that the teams have adapted to mid-match here, or if we're going to be going back to the tried and true GOATs here. Hanamura always being a very strong GOATs comp, one of the first to really see the GOATs comp elevated to in professional play before it completely took over all of the meta. So it's going to be interesting to see what we see out of these teams. Obviously, OmegaLUL feeling like their DPS-heavy comps may be the answer to the GOATs after losing in the GOATs v GOATs matchups to MAWF Black over on Lijiang Tower. So that said, it looks like we are going to be going in for an interesting adaptation of the composition here. They are running the 3 tanks, 3 supports on the defense, but they're actually going with 2 main tanks, with Raven on the Reinhardt and Yui actually playing the Winston here. So that's an interesting adaptation. I think we're going to see some scouting from the offense here. Random thing coming forwards on the Sombra to see what they can see before they decide how they want to tackle this defense.
Yeah, Sombra actually missing the jump. Does manage to make it in through the lines. Falls back, but has the information needed. And now we see good old-fashioned GOATs v GOATs coming out. Don't you love it? Don't you want to see it all day, every day?
Well,
goats for breakfast, goats for lunch, goats for dinner. And honestly, you have to say that this probably favors MAWF Black just the way that their GOATs comp was working out in that first map of this series. They have engaged. They need to find some of these kills, though. Neither team have any yet. Health is a little bad on Kira. Random thing in a little bit of trouble as well. We'll be okay for the time just being. But now with Kalua and Random Thing falling, there will be the push forward from OmegaLUL and a fall back from MAWF Black Academy.
Yeah, and you had to wonder in that scouting if they saw the Winston or not, because that definitely could be the one thing to catch them off guard. And sure enough, Yui does come up very aggressively to try and pressure out Kira and get the early kill there. And we are going to have a very late stagger onto Random Thing on the D.Va there, who was sort of left alive in the back there and actually applied some point pressure because no one was going to try and kill her. But in the end, they may have been best just resetting. They're going to commit to this 5v6. That's an interesting decision, but they're bringing out the ultimates, and they might actually be able to do this.
Yeah, I forgot my name has 2 massive ones, Raven and Bryson going down. Flake Ocean's going to fall too, and all of a sudden it worked flawlessly. I forgot my name on the boosted Zarya grabbing the trio. Bloodborne gone. Alex has their last 2, and now we have the cap through on that first point. That was crisp and clean and well worked to perfection.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't expect it. If it's a 5v6 fight in GOATs v GOATs, you don't expect them to commit. You especially don't expect them to come in swinging the ultimates around, dropping them like they are $1 bills. But there we go. And now they're going to try and snowball this through second. Kira getting very low there and does get taken out.
Dual grabs coming out right now. Shadow's going to come down, and that's going to shred the offense. Will be a complete team kill. Actually, there will be a late stagger here in all likelihood. There it is, finally the kill. I don't think the bell sounds. Yeah, we get denied of that, Peronius. How dare they? How dare they deny us of the team kill bell?
Well, in essence, the team kill bell at this point, especially if it's an out-of-mech D.Va, is sort of an indication there that you've killed her too quickly and haven't staggered her properly. So, if anything, it's almost a punishment sound in some of these setups. And we are going to have another fight coming in very early here, as the attacker's just looking to push straight on the point.
Well, and Random Thing has the kill on the Yui, which is a solid way to start this off. It's ideal if you are a MAWF Black fan. Now, can they find anything else? Raven up in the face. Now, with the Transcendence coming out, this does, of course, favor OmegaLUL. But how does it get out? D.Va Bomb goes to the sky. Doesn't find anything but forces them off. As engagement comes through. No one has died yet. Finally, Alex will go down late. And with Kalua so low, I think this will be OmegaLUL holding once again.
Oh, I forgot my name. Pushing back in. Looked like they were just going to get out with the Lucio and retain that Zarya charge, but I forgot my name. Going for a reaggress, and I think that's cost him, but other than that, you would have been pretty happy on the offense there because you did get both defensive support ultimates out of the defenders. Definitely an opening there for Morph Black, but that late stagger and I forgot my name, maybe getting a bit greedy trying to get ult charge up. But,
it might have been worth it. He got about 40% charge.
Okay, that's... I don't know, I think preserving the charge for next fight probably more valuable in the end, but hard to say. Getting that grab online before they can get their support ultimates online, very important. So we'll see how this one plays as they push through down the stairs. They're going to go into the back of the point.
They're pressuring right up in their faces. Raven a lot of trouble. Graviton, though, is going to be good. However, I don't think they can even convert on that at all. And now that's a massive shatter. Everyone is caught in it. To be able to clean it up. Raven's the only one to go down thus far. Now, finally, the rest are starting to fall. This is going slightly from off Black. It's still a very close fight. No, the next kill is going to be very pivotal. It's going to decide whether we have a kill through or whether we're going to have another hold. In fact, that no kill means quick kills and another massive shatter. This time it is cleaned up upon. Steel bomb to the sky goes up. Will it come down? It will find Flank Ocean. Now Raven in a little bit of trouble. This is such a back and forth hectic fight. But finally OmegaLUL will be able to hold it out. It did find a tick though from off Black.
Yeah, they did find a tick, but I think they wanted a bit more than that coming into this one. There's a lot of resources being invested from both sides. Unfortunately, the members of OmegaLUL are able to get those support ultimates online at just the right time to get them up for the grab, keep people healthy, and then commit the other one to help them aggress on after that one. And yeah, just the huge cleanup shatter coming through from Raven to end that fight as he makes it back onto the point after the respawns. Just seals the deal for that fight. We are going to have another push coming in through very shortly, but not a lot of ultimates online for the attackers. They have to worry about Flank Ocean's grab here.
They are coming in a huge shatter. And it has actually found Raven, but now the grab is out. And the condense again is so good. Kira and Kahlua both falling. Now there needs to be a response, but it's not coming. OmegaLUL, they are just going to be able to churn down these remaining players. And that will be all for that push. Once again, the second point proving it is incredibly hard to push. In OmegaLUL, their defense is rock solid right now.
Yeah, they're going to have the Blizzard online for next fight. That's very, very much has the chance of winning that fight for free. And with a minute and a half left on the clock, there's not too many fights left. I forgot my name. Will have that Graviton online, and Kira with the Transcendence could be the answer they need for the Blizzard if the Blizzard is in fact good. So it's certainly not out of the question for the attackers to find an answer here. But there's the Blizzard early. Doesn't catch anyone. The team is all out of it. That is a big opening to finally break through this OmegaLUL defense.
Random Thing's got a lot of time on this point, so if they can force some of these players away, they might be able to work out that second tick. Bloodborne in a little bit of trouble, and there's another nice Graviton. Can they condense on these two supports? But the trans is good for the delay. The kills once again going the way of OmegaLUL. And I guess the one thing you can kind of take solace in if you are a MAWF Black fan is they forced out a good number of ultimates, and they still have a pair on the field. But
yeah,
they really
forced out a lot of ultimates, but at the same time, Raven's got his shadow. He's been devastating with them. Flank Ocean's almost got another grab. That is both big tank ultimates online. One of those can win a fight. They're going to have both. And Bloodborne also about to have the rally. That's going to be very useful in this last fight as well, because you do know the attackers can't just wait it out. They've got to push in. Kahlua needs to get something big here, and no, he's going to get slammed down onto the deck instead there.
Yeah, but the first kill does go, and it's Bryson, which is a sizable one. Kira will be traded out, so it keeps things even, but now Raven is down. If they can find a few more of these kills, this might be the window MAWF Black needs. They need to find something, though, and Flank Ocean falling is a massive something indeed. Can they find the rest of these players? Yui condensed upon the Lucio in all kinds of trouble. Knocked off. We might have a second tick, but the spawn of Raven is coming in. The respawns are here for the defense, but they fall just as fast as they arrive. This Lucio's still on the point, trying to brawl it out. We're so close to another tick. In fact, we will get it. They're closing in on the final tick, like Ocean Falls. Spawner's coming through, Graviton delaying. We might just get this, and indeed we do. MAWF Black cap it out, Peronius.
They do, finally getting it across the line in the end. A couple of very, very crucial plays from the attackers there to finally break that one through. Not least of which, when we finally see the respawning Raven make his way onto the point, he doesn't pick up the Reinhardt, he grabs the D.Va instead, slams it into a wall, and then just gets countercharged straight back into that wall, and that is him gone. He's been on the point for about 2 seconds from his respawn, and he is straight back to waiting for another respawn. Huge, huge play to pick up Raven that quickly, as it really gives the offense a chance to clean up the other members of this team and finally plant their flag on point B to get that full cap. That said, they do it in overtime, meaning unless the offense here gets similarly stalled out, they're not going to get another push. And as we've seen in Hanamura, it can absolutely be a snowballing map. All it's going to take is one big decisive offense here from OmegaLUL to just push it all the way through, and they're going to be stuck defending A without any time in the bank, and you hate to see it.
Well, at the same time, as we saw literally in our other game today, sometimes you can just stall out at that first point and not even allow a single tick to go down on point 1. Actually, I think there might have been a tick grab, but still, splitting hairs at that point. Because if they do stall them out here and don't allow the cap on point 1, then all the time they have left is absolutely moot.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Mei-based defense on that first choke can be absolutely devastating. They are going to be playing the Mei Goats, or what was the abbreviation for that one? Was it Moats or Froats? I can't quite remember. But ultimately, a bit of a much of a muchness. But at the same time, we're going to be seeing the Mei from the attackers as well to try and ruin that defensive Mei wall. Early pick onto Raven, though, as he gets slammed into a wall. It's going to end this fight before it starts. Kalua getting a lot done there. He's already at 80%.
Swing your hammer around and around, cut the push down. Absolutely swell there. That was well, punishing.
Absolutely. And we're going to see some adaptations here coming through from OmegaLUL. They're moving over to the quad DPS, it looks like. And, or maybe not quite. No, what are they? They're going for the double poke with Mercia Brigida. Interesting composition. Very fragile. They don't have any defensive ultimates, so grab is their bane. But they will be playing very spread out, so it's not going to be easy to grab all of them in a grab as they try to poke down this point.
Well, they've pressured 4. The thing is, with the way this point is, and that's a good shatter, catching one. However, Yui on the backside has found a kill onto the Zen. Might have a window to do some more. It's going to be shielded off, and Raven gets rezzed up. So this is, again, such a weird fight. And the kill's now starting to go the way of OmegaLUL. Yui on this Pharah seems to have no... there's nothing that can touch him at this point. He has been the real X factor in this series so far. And it continues to work here for OmegaLUL as they cap the first point out. And now let's see if they can maybe snowball it out.
Yeah, it's not going to be the easiest snowball in the world. They do have a random thing with the Blizzard. That said, random thing gets their head taken clean off. Here's the big window, and here comes the attack onto the point.
In they go, over the top they go. Can they land anything? Coming down around from above, trying to find these kills as Raven's already gotten one. Blizzard comes out and Tatsui should be frozen, but the thing is Yui now has 2 again. A couple kills coming in, and this defense is trying to answer. There's just 2 alive now. It is just a break. Will not be able to deny that tick outright, but it has bought a little bit of time for spawns. With the spawns coming, this defense might have the ability to stunt things out, especially with Raven and Frank Ocean falling. So despite a tick being given up, defense does live for a little bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely touch and go there in the end. You have 3 people on the point, the Wrecking Ball, the Rhine, and the Widow, but they don't have any sustain to get them healing. So a Brigida just walking forwards and swinging at that Reinhardt really puts a lot of pressure on there. And ultimately that ends up being the answer they need. That said, Bryson and Yui getting some early kills here. They're going in for this fight yet again.
Yeah, and I don't really know if anything can contest this. The rally comes out, it doesn't matter. They're being absolutely shredded. There's just a D.Va on this point trying to delay it out. The Widow's trying to find kills too, but it's being shut down. Everyone is falling. The cap is in. There we go. Map 3 goes the way of OmegaLUL.
Well,
Almost. Not quite.
Almost.
Not quite. I'm premature. I jumped the gun.
You did, but it's a reasonable thing to say because with
it's
4 minutes 38, with 4 minutes 38 on the clock, they're looking for a full hold of A, can't even give up a tick, and they've got more time that they need to bleed off that clock than you start with at the start of this map. So this is definitely not a comfortable position to be in if you are a member of MAWF Black. OmegaLUL once again proving that this quad DPS lineup is so hard to answer to.
Well, oh, and actually, I'm just reading Twitch chat a little bit here as well. I think someone came up with the best answer to your May Goats question about what they call it. He called it snotes.
Snotes. Yes, that is the word that.
It's the best.
I didn't think Froats was right, and I was like, someone had a word for it. What was it again? Snotes is indeed the term. So thank you, Twitch chat.
That comes from JP33 Live. Gotta shout him out.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. You are correct.
Or
Snotes.
As I'm thinking about it, he's probably being like the MLG gamer using numbers in his, just like JP Live.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I could be wrong.
Yeah,
it could be either.
Could be either.
We'll find out in like 2 minutes, and it won't matter.
Shout out to Jane. Looks like they're going for a Bastion-based offense here. This is interesting. The Bastion, Doomfist, May, Orisa, they're just going to slowly walk forwards, setting up this heavy machine gun and just mow down targets as they take space.
And it's actually working out to this point. This is alright. Okay, I'm broken, Peronius. What the hell? How does this work? Okay, whatever.
Well, it's
see you on the next map.
First rule of warfare: take your opponent by surprise. And
Second rule of warfare: take your caster by surprise.
Apparently, I mean, if we can't predict it, there's no way they can, right?
Random things even hitting question marks here as well. Bloodborne gets play of the game. We don't want to see this. We don't want to see Bloodborne swing his hammer. Just kidding. Love your blood. Even though you don't love me, I love you. I'm kidding. You love me too. We knew it.
With that, we are going to see OmegaLUL take the lead 1-0 in this series, in this first to 3. There's going to be one last chance for MAWF Black to bring it back. But,
I mean 2-1 in this first to 5?
What? First to 3. Surely. What?
It's a best of 5 series.
Yeah, best of 5. I said first to 3. First to 3 is best of 5.
Oh, I thought you said like they've taken first in this best of 3, and I'm like, no, it's like that's a best of 5. They're taking their second. I confused myself and
you played yourself.
It's 2:30 in the morning, okay?
Yep, no, that's reasonable. But yeah, a lot of people are taking to calling it first to 3 rather than best of 5 because it gets confusing when we have like tiebreaker maps and stuff because people are like, wait, is this a new map? And it's like, no, this is the tiebreaker to resolve the previous map. So rather than calling it best of, given that we sometimes play more maps than is best of, we've moved over to starting to call it first to. Similar to tennis, I guess. And much like...
man, does that mean if we're doing it similar to tennis, when teams don't have a round, we have to say love? It's one love.
No, although there's been a lot of love in general, so yeah, there's the love between you and Bloodborne. There's a lot of love in this game in general. And speaking of love, we'll be going over to King's Row, definitely the birthplace of a lot of love, as this is the favorite map of a lot of these players and a lot of players in general. And it's going to be interesting to see if we see more of the brawly goats here on King's Row, or if OmegaLUL continue to dazzle us with their dynamic quad DPS plays.
Well, is a possibility. Dazzling is fun. Can't remember the last time I was truly dazzled. We'll see if they can do it here. I'm a hard man to dazzle.
You're a hard man to dazzle. Fair enough. Well, the challenge is out there. And I'm sure these players, when they rewatch the VODs, will be thinking to themselves, damn, we needed to go that extra bit harder so that we could dazzle Graham here. Or maybe they'll be going, damn, I'm glad we did go that extra bit harder and really managed to dazzle Graham here. So I guess
I think they'll be thinking, can't they get anyone better than Graham here?
I don't think anyone's thinking that one.
Oh, thanks, man. Of course, if you are thinking you can't do better than me, and you are enjoying me, well, then you may as well follow me on Twitter at GrahamCast. If you are enjoying Peronius, which if you have a brain, you're enjoying Peronius, you follow him at Peronius. It's just the things that you do. We don't get paid, so you pay us in follows. It's like paying your respects.
Press F to pay respects.
Press follow to pay respects.
Is for follow. And
it
looks like we are going to be seeing a bit of an adaptation here out of MAWF Black. They're actually going to be running this quad DPS on the offense here. Bryson on the Bastion again for OmegaLUL. Setting up the defense here. They got the Bastion and the May sort of hiding in the room. Here comes the ambush, and Alex Studio just gets deleted from the air.
Yeah, this is the deletion coming through. Kalu on the point will be going down as well. This is not working out thus far for MAWF.
No, absolutely. I mean, imagine being a random thing in this scenario. You're the Sombra, you've done the scouting, you've gone out, you haven't found the Bastion, and then suddenly there's a Bastion set up just mowing down your team. But it looks like they're in the driver's seat now. The Bastion's down, Flankation's down. They've got dominance on the point here. We're finally seeing MAWF Black make some progress.
Anyone want to join me? Where does it hurt?
Oh, they are going to be able to at least get a tick. They're probably going to get a second. They could even get a third. What a novel concept. It looks like they're going to be given a third. How nice is that? All 3 ticks go through. They'll have the cart. They get to start rolling. They've done the first half of the hybrid part. Now just the straight escort map. And while they kind of struggled with that over on Dorado, so we'll see if that continues here, or whether they'll look better on King's Row.
Yeah, so we have seen some adaptations come through already. They are going to get off the Bastion and perhaps stop flexing and play a bit more of a reliable comp. Although they are running this quad DPS. Taksui going down early, but on the Lucio, they haven't quite transitioned over to the comp they want, I think, and they're really getting punished for it.
Yeah, it's been a cornucopia of comps that we've seen in this collection of like 2 minutes. It's great. And
so we're going to be, it looks like, are they sticking on this, or are they going to be making some swaps here? Taksui going over to the Zen. Flank Ocean swapping to the... What are they doing here? I'm actually struggling here to make sense of what this defense is going to be. OmegaLUL presumably, at this point, giving up the second point entirely. Taksui has swapped over to the Wrecking Ball, so they have finally transitioned over to the squad DPS, and they get in just in time to meet that EMP.
And it's actually gone very nicely here for the offense. MAWF are just rolling through this. With 5 minutes left on the clock, a very fast time. And we'll see if they can continue to convert off of it. Flank Ocean falls, Bryson down too. This is looking absolutely impeccable. They've flipped the switch. MAWF Black, they've awoken.
Yeah, MAWF Black have woken up, and at the same time, I think we're seeing an OmegaLUL that wants to spend more time in their spawn room than playing in the map. They're very slow to change these compositions over, and they're really getting punishing hard for it. They've finally managed to buy a little bit of space, but even then, they've still got to worry about Bryson. And I forgot my name. Sorry, rather, they've got to worry about I forgot my name because the Widow side set up.
Was that intentional from Taksui? He went for the pile driver and I think missed where he wanted to land and just fell straight through the map. It looked amazing.
You hate to see it if you're an OmegaLUL fan. They've been so good so far, but it seems like they're just giving away King's Row. What has happened? Can someone report the members of OmegaLUL for throwing? Because what are they doing here? And that is a lightning fast offense coming out from MAWF. Yeah, I mean, what more can we say from that? I'm not really sure we actually got any proper team fights that entire round.
Well, I made a football reference earlier. I'm gonna make another one here. There's something called the 2-minute drill. What it is in football is there's like 2 minutes left in a game and you're like down a score and you need like this big like one last like drive to win the game. In this case, it was just a 2-minute drill of literally they spawned, they had 2 minutes and they capped. Like they just did it in 2 minutes anyways. It didn't stop moving. Like that payload, I don't think had anything interfere with it very much. It was almost a flawless, incredibly fluid run.
Yeah, the only stumble they had was the surprise bastion at the start. They adapted to it, they took it out, and then it was easy sailing from there as they just rode the payload all the way into the heart of King's Row. And yeah, I think OmegaLUL need to buckle down here and take this one a bit more seriously, because it really felt like they weren't taking that defense seriously at all. And yeah, they get punished really hard for that one. So we'll see if we get the proper OmegaLUL leading spawn here on this attack. They are going to be running this quad DPS again. They have been very deadly on, but looks like the defense also matching it here. I think we've reached the new meta, guys.
We may indeed have a new meta. We've come full circle. And now will it perpetually work is the question. Will it be a ghost or will we have a response to it come out? That's the $1 million question. We have Yui in the back lines on the Sombra.
Ooh,
hasn't been spotted out, and Random Thing has already fallen. A hack comes in to the Wrecking Ball, but he's not able to be converted upon. Just shredding people with those cannons. Now I think MAWF's defense is going to be able to hold a little bit longer here. Yeah, there it is. A few more kills coming down. Raven's up above. I forgot my name hitting all these shots. Should be able to find one more, perhaps. This is where he backs up the perhaps.
I am power.
Any moment now.
Oh, Yui's getting ready to jump that Widow, but yeah, we've gone into a bit of a brawly fight here, but the kill's still very much coming over in favor of the defenders of MAWF Black. Bryson does take off I Forgot My Name's head here, and it looks like we're going to a pause. So yeah, this is definitely an interesting thing. Definitely an interesting thing we're seeing here. If this quad DPS becomes the meta, I think it'll be the first time in Overwatch history where the sort of team comps you find in Plat are actually the meta ones, but for an entirely different reason.
Well, good point.
You like that one?
Well played.
I was pretty happy with that one.
That took me a second. I'm like, what did he just like? I'm like, what did he just? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. It's true. I love it. Well done.
We're getting straight back into it here.
Done. Bryson gets killed, gets rezzed, and gets killed again. So well done by I Forgot My Name. Completely negating Bryson. And this is kind of like the swing that we've seen between these maps thus far, Peronius. Things go incredibly well for OmegaLUL. I Forgot My Name can barely, like, get a kill on Widow. Things go incredibly well for MAWF Black. Bryson can barely get a kill on Widow. Like these two snipers just go on, like, an incredible hot string, completely shutting down and negating the opposition. And then their teams just reap the rewards from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all about getting the space for these Widows. And, oh, that's a big EMP.
Big Dragon too. A lot of ultis coming out on this defense, but they still have 2 more. And it's allowed them to convert a few more kills. Racing around the corner. Isn't going to be able to find much. Actually does somehow find a pair of kills. So, when in doubt, make me eat my words. It's always a good motto.
So OmegaLUL made some adaptations, swapped over to a tank-heavy lineup, and then got punished immediately with a big EMP shutting down those tanks. They've adapted again, flankation going over onto the D.Va. There goes Alex Studios. Tatsui takes down the counterpart as well, and they're finally going to set up on this point and make some progress. There's an EMP coming out from Yui just to help this cleanup, but a lot of kills coming through from both sides there, but they will finally get this payload going, and it looks like OmegaLUL finally found something that's going to work for them.
They don't have the world's most time to work with. They already have less than what was left in the bank for MAWF. So it's not amazing, but Random Thing will be caught out. Not before a pair of kills go the way of MAWF Black, though. With Bryson and Tatsui going down. A Razzle come in, so Random Thing's right back up on the field, then everyone's happy on the side of MAWF Black.
Yeah, absolutely. OmegaLUL already, they've gotten the payload to the first arch, and they're already getting stalled out here. It's going to be difficult to push through against this quad DPS, especially with whatever tank stepping forward is getting hacked. The Sombras are really putting in a lot of work here, and that's a huge Dragon's through as well. Kalua gets a good minefield in there to pick up Tatsui, and I don't know if they can push through into this defense with their quad DPS. They may need to make some adaptations here to actually make the space they need to be able to break this.
Well, speaking of adaptations, Bryson's gotten the McCree over Widow. He's done a little bit of damage there, already up to 50% on that ult. But now the wall hack's coming in for I Forgot My Name, gives him all the advantage in the world in hitting the shots that he needs. Helps the defense realize where they are. They know the McCree's right around that corner. Can they find any kills off of it? They're looking, they're pressuring. In fact, they will find a few. Air denial's going to allow the cart to move forward a wee bit. Able to nose its way in. And through all kinds of trouble as he just juggled into the minefield. And now with the ults coming out, a big hack comes down. That catches so many players. And that has allowed 5 kills to come in. Or should allow that to come in. Bloodborne still is somehow alive. It'll actually get saved by Raven. So actually only 3 kills came off of it. D.Va Bomb comes down. It catches nothing, but Flank Ocean has done a decent job finding a pair. Will there be a response from MAWF Black Peronius?
I don't know, it's hard to say here, because it looks like OmegaLUL are winning out this fight, but it is so brawly and so slow.
The big dragon!
Big dragon coming through. But MAWF Black are just managing to get people on this payload, so that they're only getting a couple of meters at a time, and then there's another stall. It looks like they finally got some straightaway here to finally make some progress in there, but I'm reminded back of some very unusual defenses I've seen in last season's AOE, where there was one team that just staggered and trickled onto the payload for 4 minutes one at a time, and it absolutely worked at stalling out the progress of it. So we're seeing a bit of that there. They're bleeding time off the clock, and time is not something that OmegaLUL have in huge amounts.
Yeah, if you manage to get the cap, that gives them 2 minutes to work with, and they found a pair of kills. So there's a lot of them, and you might want to see MAWF Black start to actually stabilize this defense shortly. Be probably a good idea. I don't know about that. I mean, I don't have many good ideas, but I think regrouping and having a decent defense might be one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've got all their members alive now, so they're able to push forwards. They are putting a lot of pressure on this payload, and we are seeing the members of OmegaLUL having to flex back a little bit. There's the minefield out that does get hacked out, but I Forgot My Name's already gone down. There's the res. A lot of ultimates coming out here from the defenders. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty decisive hold here. But OmegaLUL, 90 seconds still on the clock to crack open this defense, and that's a lot of their tools to prevent any further progress gone.
Yeah, they don't really have much anywhere near up, and you look over on the side of OmegaLUL, they've got 1 ult already. They're already coming up on another 3 of them. The D.Va Bomb, Deadeye, and TO Healing will be up momentarily.
A couple of composition changes from both teams. We've got dive tanks coming out for the defense, and actually the Orisa from the offense. Interesting flex, but Alex Studios going down early by Flank Ocean. Preyed onto Flank Ocean's mech as well by Random Thing, and here comes the fight.
Now we have a Coalescence coming in from Bloodborne. The kills are going the way be able to find a little bit of a window to start inching their way forward. There's a bit of a delay. Those kills have come down, though. They don't have any ults up for when the spawn comes through either. That is going to come out. That pens them in spawn. And now they are starting to come around. I don't think anyone can get to this cart. Oh, I forgot my game. And Wraith will just get there in the nick of time, but he gets shredded. Now here comes the Diva Bomb up above. This should go the way of OmegaLUL, but the delays have been pretty solid from MAWF Black right now. Just trying to delay that little bit of time left that they can. 9 seconds, 8 seconds, but they will get it with 7.9 left in the bank.
Yeah, and that's absolutely crucial, because if the defense was able to stall that one out all the way to 0, that would be it. That would be no extra time on the bank. In this case, extra time awarded. They've got a minute to push, but they're going to need to get this point A push going a lot faster than they did last time, or OmegaLUL are not going to get anything done. It took them so long to find an answer to MAWF Black's defense, and they just can't afford it this time. So we'll see if they're able to get it going a bit earlier. We've seen great things out of them earlier in the series, but it seems like they're maybe starting to run out of steam here on King's Row.
Ready for battle.
We'll see. Minute versus 4.5 minutes. 4 3/4 minutes, actually, is a huge difference.
Oh, yeah.
And that might be... Like, that alone, I think, is the saving grace for MAWF Black, and why I think, to be honest with you, they have this map, and we're going to go to a 5th and final map, our decider. That time difference solely is why I think that's the case.
Absolutely.
Now that I've said that, I'm going to eat my words, because that always happens, and, well...
It's the cast a curse.
Pretty much. It sucks.
Yeah, OmegaLUL definitely going to be want to try and get the full push here in overtime. It's about the only thing that's going to leave them feeling comfortable. So, that said, they are going to be running this Bastion again, which you can surprise people with a Bastion once, you know, shame on you. You can surprise them with a Bastion twice, maybe, which they did do earlier very briefly. But at this third time, I think at this point you have to wonder how impactful it's going to be.
Anyone want to join me?
Oh, and I forgot my name. He's got more kills to his name. Alex has come in with the Pharah as well. And this should be all she wrote. Raven will be the mech. And yeah, that's going to do it. I think they have about 15 seconds left to find one more push and some staggers. It's going to be very tight, but that's not much of a window for OmegaLUL to do it.
No,
And the wall hacks coming out makes it even worse.
Exactly. They're not going to be able to set up without having their position get away. And oh, a sleep onto Battlefield is huge. But let's see if they can capitalize on it.
Dragon straight through the point along with the kills already in, and this raining in from above will do it. Team kill, ring the bell, and say goodbye to that offense from OmegaLUL. Now their defense needs to be legitimately flawless. Cannot give up a tick in 4.5 minutes. 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Keep catching yourself.
That's rough. That's not a comfortable place to be. And given how close the King's Row A spawn is to that first point, not an easy thing to do. Teams have done it, but it's a big hurdle. And right now, if you're remember a MAWF Black Academy, you got to be feeling pretty good about your chances here. They've really turned this series around. They've gone from being down 2-1 to really running it back here. And this is, it's a lot of... It just looks like OmegaLUL starting to fall apart here. They were so dominant on Dorado, and yet the exact opposite is true here on King's Row. So I think if we go to the 5th map here, you've still got to feel like MAWF Black have the advantage just based on how this series has turned around.
As they say, retweet if you cry every time. It's about the sentiment that you're starting to feel if you're an OmegaLUL fan just for this map. Again, you can take solace in the fact you have the 2-1 lead, which will likely become a 2-2 game. You have a lifeline. This is your lifeline. But it's also not over yet. 4.5 minutes, 4:45 is a lot of time. But it's doable. Not easily, but it can be done.
It can be done, but already the members of MAWF Black spreading out. They've got a lot of sight lines opened up with this offense. Raven now getting hacked out. A lot of pressure on the point, and the members of OmegaLUL are really going to struggle here.
But they need to start converting kills, and they're all going the way of OmegaLUL, aside from Alec grabbing Tatsui, and that does result in the fallback.
Alright, so yeah, they've managed to take down the first fight. They've bled a minute off the clock. They've built some ultimates. Not a huge concentration anywhere, so they don't really have anything about to come online, so ultimate economy is looking about even. But once again, we're going to see the members of MAWF Black Academy fan out, take their different angles, and defense down. And there goes Yui early. That is absolutely going to be opening up the fight, and just as I say that, we're going into a pause. So, unfortunately, it will not be opening up just as yet, but we have seen Yui go down, which is really going to put OmegaLUL in a very dangerous position, but they have gotten a trade kill back onto Random Thing in the process. So the Sombra is down, but without the Zenyatta, they're really just relying on Tatsui for the heals. And they've still got 3 DPS able to put in huge amounts of damage into that defensive comp.
It looks like they are deciding that they might be ready to go soon. I think I broke Bloodborne with that comment in chat.
That's a big oof right there. But this is going to be...
You know you've done it when you get a damn it Dreamboat. That's not even my alias anymore. But what might have done is Bryson on the Deadite managed to get the kill onto the Mercy. That's very large. We'll get traded up by Kira quickly. This is getting a little bit tense here. Pressure starting to mount as there's now 3 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, that said, the kills keep coming through, so OmegaLUL in a precarious position, but they keep getting the trade kills that they need to equalize this, and it's really denying MAWF Black Academy, from being able to push forward onto this point and actually take the ground. Because that is the one downside of all these long-range DPSs, is they don't want to push forwards and take space. They don't take space with their heroes, they take it with the sight lines. But there's a big barrage from Alex Studios and Yui going down again. This might be the opening they need.
Where'd that dragon go? That somehow just went through the floor and accomplished absolutely nothing. I appreciate the creativity. I don't appreciate the fact that it didn't succeed. But now they are pressuring around. Random Thing has to kill on the Raven, and now the hack comes out with the area denial right on the point. That's going to allow them to get pretty close to this tick. They need to do something to deny it, but they have to be careful of these mines. But the Transcendence is the answer. Floats into all of them, causes them to blow up. But now they need to find kills, and it's still going the way of MAWF Black. They're halfway to a tick. They should be getting there. It's oh so close. The denial. Raven on the point, but he's hacked. It's almost at the feet. He's going down, and MAWF Black force our 5th and final map.
Absolutely, and we see there just the defenders Zaya going long there. I think they're just trying to throw out the grab as they make back in the point. They overshoot. And it's just a grab out by the statue with no one around it. About as impactful as those earlier dragons. And that was probably their last chance to stabilize this fight there. So, unfortunately, Flank Ocean just not getting the grab that they need there on the defense to be able to stabilize the fight. And as a result, we will be going to map 5 here now. Which means, of course, we'll be going back to control. And that's definitely going to see a change of pace from these teams as we go back to presumably a much brawlier playstyle.
Well, this is, of course, Harbinger's favorite style, assuming direct control. And we'll see if this can be what we need for MAWF to come back and complete the comeback, or whether it's just going to be enough for OmegaLUL to close it out. This is the decider. This is the last place we can go.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will be going over to Ilios. And So the interesting thing about Ilios is that it's never been a map that's been particularly great for goats. I mean, people still run goats on it because goats was so dominant for so long, but it's always been a map that favors these long-range sightlines. So maybe we will be seeing more of the Pharah, more of the Widow, potentially more of the quad DPS. It's really hard to say because we haven't seen a lot of Ilios in a while, actually. So it's going to be interesting to see how these teams play this one out. If they just go back to the old comfortable, or if they continue to try the more dynamic and very, very dangerous quad DPS comps that we have been seeing tonight.
So, final map in this set, and what a set it has been. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, it's really hard to pick this one.
Lord. Hold on. Sorry, I just had to yell at one of the players. he made a joke and it called me Daddy Dream. I don't know how I feel about that. I know it is lolly, so I'll give him a hard time. But yikes. Well, fortunately, I don't need to just yikes it up anymore. We're going to the fifth and final map. I, of course, am Graham Morrison. Follow me on Twitter at GrahamCast, joined by Peronius. Follow him on Twitter at Peronius. Funny how that works. And follow Pinky MacGyver on Twitter at also Pinky MacGyver. Follow AOE Sports at AOE Sports. Something like,
have you noticed
why don't I get it? That's so easy.
Well, you're the one who chose your branding, dude.
I mean, I used to be Dreamboat. Dreamboat was always taken. I was Dreamboat Cast on Twitter. You guys just get lucky. Pinky MacGyver has Pinky MacGyver. AOE Sports has AOE Sports. Pronis. Why did I never get the easy ones?
Well, I mean, what can I say?
Because I worked twice as hard and I'm that much sweeter because of it.
Sure, that's a good answer to that one. Let's go with that. Anyways, we will be going over to Ilios Well here for our final decisive tiebreaker control map here to determine who will be the winner between OmegaLUL and MAWF Black Academy. And it's been a hell of a series so far. OmegaLUL got away to an early lead. They brought out the quad DPS comp, and MAWF Black were really struggling to deal with it until they started mirroring it, playing it back. And since then, the momentum has shifted to MAWF Black Academy. So you have to feel like with momentum on their side, they've got the upper hand here, but it's really going to be down to how well these teams can trade blows. OmegaLUL now not playing the quad DPS, they're going over to an Orisa hog-based composition. They are going to be trying to just set up around this well and create the bunker for their Ashe to fire from safely. Let's see how it goes.
Well, Kahlua and a random thing both follow instantly to Frank Ocean and Yui respectively. Price has got one, and well, that's honestly about what I expected.
Yeah,
par for the course.
Pretty decisive opening there with the Orisa bunker just providing a very safe place, and the CC being absolutely devastating to that Wrecking Ball as they get hooked and then slept and then get deleted. And we are going to see some adaptations come through. MAWF Black moving over to their own Hogrissa, and so they're going to be looking to set up their own bunker opposing the OmegaLUL one. But ooh, that really nice grenade there, really nice dynamite there from the Ashe to set those tanks on fire.
Well, they have any way of breaking this. They need to have an answer somehow, and well, bad as I feel going down is not really the answer. It's almost the opposite of that, especially with Alex going down too. This isn't going so well. This is kind of a rough spot to be in. This is kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Taksui getting taken out by, I forgot my name, is the one solace you've got if you are MAWF Black Academy. Yeah, a good Ashe can be so hard to play into, especially if you're playing a team comp that wants to be grouped up together, like the Orisa bunker often does. She's able to get that dynamite over the Orisa shield and detonate it above. She's going to get a huge amount of damage from that ability. But ooh, there comes the barrage.
Doesn't actually find anything. As the kills still go the way of OmegaLUL, Taksui embracing getting one. Now Deadeye is going to come out. And well, it gets absolutely annihilated by Bloodborne with a fantastic anti and then a good follow-up onto it.
Yeah, well, that's the downside to the Jedi, is sometimes it is just press Q to go back to spawn. And OmegaLUL really coming alive here in this final map. They do have a very dominant performance there as we head into the last fight.
Now the bongo comes out, and with the whole hog, the Bob. Just like that, Bob's your uncle. We're done on segment 1.
Absolutely. Flank Ocean really putting the flank back into Flank Ocean as he whole hogs from an unexpected angle and just absolutely minces the members of MAWF Black Academy into that wall. Someone's going to need to come and clean them off that, because that is not pretty to look at. And with that, we are going to see OmegaLUL take the advantage here, 1-0 up. This has gone to match point of match point, and we've gone over to Ruins. And this is absolutely an opportunity to see more of this Widow on Widow action that has been so crucial in a lot of these maps.
I will say, thinking about it with like that whole like Bob's your uncle expression, it'd be kind of cool having like Bob from Overwatch be your uncle. It's like literally like a robot.
He's the,
Think about like how badass that'd be. Like,
yeah.
Who's your uncle? My uncle's a robot.
Like,
Like,
a badass.
damn. That would get you some like 6th Street cred in like grade 3.
Alright, so we are going to be, it looks like we are going to indeed have that Widow on Widow action of Yui playing up against I Forgot My Name, rather than Bryson as has been previously. Bryson going to stay on the Ashe. Yui actually gets binned by Alex Studios on the Pharah, and Bryson going down as well. That's an early advantage to MAWF Black. They're probably going to be able to get this first cap. Kills still coming through in their favor. That was quick and decisive.
Well, when their backs are against the wall, they do not want to be taken advantage of. They seem to, kind of every time for MAWF Black, respond very nicely. This is a case of them doing so again. They have the cap up. Yes, a headshot from Yui will remove Alex, but a res brings them right back to the field. And I Forgot My Name hits the shot. Yui's down again. This is working out very nicely. And great rockets do a lot of damage to Raven. Needs to fall back. Fall off of it. Dynamite from the Ashe. Doesn't manage to do much. And now the re-aggression's coming in. It's like MAWF Black have the advantage in this fight. They see the find the kills. And there's another one. Taksui's down. Flank Ocean 2. And this is all just falling apart. They're just being absolutely shredded. MAWF Black looking phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. After such a disastrous run there on Well, things have swapped back once again. These teams very close. We've seen it back and forth all night with these teams. And if things continue at this rate, we may be going all the way to the final wire. That said, Alex Studios does have the barrage online. They've got the EMP. They've got the minefield. There's the minefield getting thrown out in that room. That is going to scuff that, push through there. And Kira gets an early kill into Bryson. This is looking very good for the members of MAWF Black Academy.
Yeah, this is pretty good for a series that we weren't going to cast until Lolly had asked me to do it. And I said, sure. Like, I love just like that. That's just like, we weren't going to do it. We fluked into it. And we're actually looking... I'd say we're incredibly likely at this point to be going the full distance. This is absolutely breathtaking and some incredible Overwatch. And will it be that way? OmegaLUL trying to put something in to deny it, and Bryson getting a nice opening pick will do so. A couple trades going through. It is keeping this a 4-on-4 fight. Make that a 4-on-3 as Bryson hits a shot. Quick res comes back through. And now this last fight is going to be so pivotal. We're up to 99% from MAWF Black. And they might be able to actually stall this out. They're trying, they're doing everything they can. Diva Bomb won't land. Flank Ocean will be DMAXed shortly here. It's very close, gonna be hacked up. There is the DMAX. Can they find these kills? MAWF Black doing everything they can to deny it, Peronius. They're so very close, and I think they're gonna do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yui getting hacked out there means that Tracer cannot keep the stall up on the point. Bryson gets stuck with the pulse bomb. There it is. That's it. We are going all the distance. We're going all the way over to Lighthouse for the final decider of this incredible series between MAWF Black and OmegaLUL. And really, all these players have been tested all night. It's been such a long match, so close. They're no doubt fatigued, but even then they are all still punching. They're still keeping it going, and we're going all the way here to Lighthouse now to be the deciding round. Whoever wins this wins it all.
All right, I have to ask you. Pick a team.
Pick a team. Oh god. Oh god. See, at this point, I got no idea. I'm gonna go with OmegaLUL here, just because they've been trading so evenly here on Control that it's definitely OmegaLUL's time to win a map. But that's the only reason, because these two teams are so close.
I was gonna say MAWF, and we'll see you who is wiser, being smarter. Well, I was gonna say that as the positioning was better for OmegaLUL, but they're being shredded right now at the start. Blue will be traded out, and that is a nice late pick from Flank Ocean. However, the first cap goes the way of MAWF Black, and that is a massive cap. They've gone the distance, but MAWF looking poised.
Yeah, absolutely. That first cap on Control, the biggest statistical change between who wins and who loses. The first capture so often being the last capture as well. So huge difference there. Very important to get that early cap. It's certainly not impossible to run it back. But at the same time, look at Kalua's ultimate charge. That Earth Shatter is going to be online so early. He's so far up on Raven in the ultimate game here. And there it is. Huge shatter.
Oh my god, it is being an absolute annihilation. Random thing grabbing 3. And they continue their climb. MAWF Black, they looked hairy at times. They got absolutely shredded on Dorado. But all of a sudden, they have awoken. They have felt the fire inside. They've come out to play, and they look poised. They're up to 50% now, Peronius. Here on the final segment of the final map of this best of 5.
Yeah, absolutely. There's really not a lot of outs here for OmegaLUL. They need to get a big grab from Bryson. That's going to be their best opening in here. At the same time, and there is the grab. It's decent, but Kira is going to immediately answer with that one. They need to start converting, or it's all going to be for North.
Well, random thing goes down, but there's also going to be the kill back on the Taksui from that mech. He popped it just to save himself, but instead it worked out even better. The ults keep coming down on this point, but the kills, they're going MAWF Black's way. They have man advantage in this engagement. The next kills are going to be so huge, but it's Kalua to go down. Can they keep grinding this out as Battlefield has a kill with a Razorfish-esque boop, but they keep going the way of MAWF Black. The Graviton was massive. They're stalling this out. 91%. They're going to find the kills. It's just Taksui. Now the respawns have come in. Raven on this point trying to delay it. He goes down too. It's a Lucio. It's just a Lucio and a Tracer. Will they delay it, Peronius? I don't think so. I think MAWF Black have it.
And with that, MAWF Black finally putting themselves over the line, getting on top. A dominant performance here on Lighthouse. And with that, they will win this series. And what a hard-fought series it was as they finally get that one across the line.
Oh, dear Lord. And, this series had a little bit of everything. Some amazing ghost play. We had some sick quad DPS. We had teams just looking absolutely unstoppable at times. There was nothing. I swear, there was nothing MAWF Black could do on Dorado. Absolutely nothing. They got absolutely shredded. They didn't have an answer. I thought that series was done. I thought after Dorado, we were sitting on a 3-1 series. That was it. That's all she wrote. MAWF Black show resilience. They finally have an answer. They pull out the win on Hanamura. They force us to our final map. And man, oh man, did they deliver, Peronius.
Yeah, absolutely. Just really dominant performance from them in the later half of this series. Kings Row was their map, and they made OmegaLUL know it. And now, once again, they do the same thing on 2 of those 3 control stages. Just absolutely dominant 100-0 shutouts. And that is going to see them finally push through and crown the victors there. And so, knowing how we tend to go in here, I imagine the next thing we're going to be doing is transitioning over to the MVP. Would I be correct on that one, Graham?
I was hoping that you weren't going to mention that, because how do you pick one in this series? I can't name a player on either side that didn't have some substantial impact outside of Lolliot.
Oof.
Kidding, I love you, Lolliot. Lolliot's my boy. I had to call him out. But
Yeah,
seriously,
absolutely.
what was that Hanzo dragon on King's Row Lolliot? I need to know. That's your answer. You gotta hit me with that at some point. But no, I don't know. Like I can't think of one. Like, who do you have?
I think in
Maybe
the
one of the
end,
widows.
yeah, I think in the end I do give it to I Forgot My Name because they were so often the difference maker. Like, obviously, especially with the variety of compositions we've seen, everyone really needs to put in a very solid performance. But so often it has been I Forgot My Name getting those early picks that have set up these fight wins. So I think in the end, I will. I think I do give it to I Forgot My Name there for the members of MAWF Black Academy.
What about what about Kahlua though? We had like some of those shatters were like
Oh yeah,
to save Moff Black were like life changing. If they don't get that, Moff's out on like 3 maps. They're or out on 4 maps. Like he's a guy that was kind of pinging in the back of my head. Maybe it's a Kahlua pick. I like the thing is I say that I don't think you can go wrong with anybody,
no,
any single player on either of those teams. Obviously, you can't like my rule is I can't pick OmegaLUL because they lost,
yeah,
but they were all so close. It was also competitive. Like hats off to all 12 players that just brought us this insane series.
yeah, absolutely, 100% agreed, and yeah, 110% on all of that. All of these players really putting in a huge amount. If there were any gaps, any weaknesses in either team, this would not have been as close a series as it was. So incredibly well done by all of you tonight. And yeah, I hope there's a lot. Hope there's a lot that these teams can take out of it as they review this match going forward into the rest of the season.
And with that, that will be all from us here at AOE Sports for the evening. Follow Peronius on Twitter at Peronius. Follow Pinky at Pinky MacGyver. Follow me at Graham Cass and follow us here at AOE Sports. Stay tuned. This is just round 1. This is just the first week of Ascent. We got a lot more exciting action coming down the tube for you. Will be me again, Peronius. I'm sure you're going to be casting more games.
Yeah,
with
I'll
me.
definitely be back.
So definitely stay tuned. Happy fragging. Be the best hero you can be. That's right, Cyberwaste. I'm stealing your ending. And drive safe.